Hey, welcome back to the shop here at Hemmings and part 3 of our Corvette build. Now last time we delved into the rear suspension, and you know that's kind of unique on these Corvettes. The independent setup has parts and pieces that are different from other cars, so we spent a lot of time back there, but that's wrapped up now. Today we're going to get into the front suspension. That part is a lot more conventional. It's very similar to other Chevys of the late 50s and early 60s, so we're going to try to make our way through that a little more briskly. Junior's ready to go. He's going to pull the wheels off. I'm going to take a side, he's going to take a side, and we're going to pull this thing apart. So we're going to dive in now. This is usually how it goes when I'm working with Junior. I'm always going to be slower, but the simplest thing will trip me up. That stupid brake line, no rust on it. Wrench strips it, put a vice grip on it. Vice grip destroys it.
With all the tie rods undone, the brake lines undone, we undid the upper ball joint. That allows us to put a jack under the lower control arm so we can lower it, release tension off the coil spring, take the coil spring out. Then we undid the lower control arm and took the whole assembly over to the bench so it'd be a little easier to work on.
All right, so we brought this assembly over to the bench. This is upside down right now. This is the lower control arm. And I've never dealt with one of these style ball joints that loads in the control arm kind of upside down from what I'm used to.
I'm used to them being riveted in and having to cut the rivets and replace them with bolts.
Yeah, on Chevelles and Camaros, the lower one is pressed in and then the upper one has the rivets, but this one is just looks like those two bolts are what's holding in.
There's two little wings here and it looks like there's a stud up top. Let's see what happens. Once we got the spindle and the ball joint separated for the control arm, you have to hit the spindle because the ball joint is tapered. So a little whack with the hammer and it pops right out. Then it was on to removing the bushings from the control arms. The control arms are a stamped steel, so they're not the strongest thing in the world. It was a little bit difficult to get them out. Typically you can just blow them out with an air hammer, but this time we had to use a ball joint press so we could avoid damage on the control arm, and they just press right out.
And it's funny because it's not rusty and it doesn't really look like it was galled in there. It just didn't want to come out.
It didn't want to come out. It did a little damage there with the air hammer, and I think that's what was hanging up on it. Go there. That was definitely better than swinging a hammer. On that note, that's why nobody ever changes these bushings.
All right, it took a few minutes and degreased this thing a bit because it was pretty spongy. This car hasn't really been, it's just been driven, I think, its whole life. Fortunately, the Texas part of it seems to be legit. It's not rusty.
Yeah.
We're gonna pop in a fresh ball joint and then this arm is done. We would love to clean and paint all this stuff and it's really bothering me that we can't, but we don't have time to do full resto appearance on everything. We're gonna do the mechanical restoration part of this car because it has gotta be ready for the great race soon and that clock is ticking. So we'll pop a ball joint in. We got 3 other control arms to do. We're gonna keep rolling on this.
All right, now we gotta take the top one off.
Top, oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is 1 of 4.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. 2 down, 6 to go.
Big news on this car is that you could be its next owner. The Corvette's going to be part of a giveaway going on all summer. You can read about all the details on Hemmings.com/Corvette giveaway. The cokertire website will also have all the details on the giveaway. There's no purchase required to enter, but you do have to get your entries in by September 1st.
With the lower control arm rebuilt and reinstalled on the car, now it was time to remove the upper control arm. But in typical Corvette fashion, you can't remove the upper control arm until you remove the radiator shroud in the radiator. With that done, we could finally pull the upper control arm off the car and take that over to the bench to refurbish it.
So a long time later.
Oh.
So we finally got our upper control arms off. Here one of them is. They're kind of similar, right? They're A-arms, they got a cross shaft.
Yep.
Looks like you said it was worth doing because the upper bushings
Oh yeah, this one especially is almost completely gone.
These new parts are from Corvette Central and the kit they sent us is a correct kit, meaning these parts are all made to look like the original parts. One of the things that this kit includes that's kind of cool is the upper ball joints are riveted on these, and so we'll have to drill and tap out those rivets. Normally you just put nuts and bolts in to put the new ball joint in, but they include these little special bolts that have rivet heads on them. So in theory, when we put these in from one side, you're not going to be able to see that.
It'll look like original.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool. Corvette Central has regular replacement parts. They've got a couple grades of parts for rebuilding your front end. So if you've just got a driver, you can just get decent quality replacement bits, but these are kind of cool and just that they will look like factory when we're done.
Oh, that wasn't even tight. Not even tight. Yeah, he was totally spinning in the
bushing.
Yeah. So much less violent. Notice a bunch of missing rubber. There's plenty of access from the top side. I'll actually just take a grinder, blow them off, punch them out.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. This car is going to be part of a giveaway that's going to go on all summer. You can get all the details at Hemmings.com/Corvette giveaway. There's no purchase required, but you do have to get your entries in by September 1st.
Really don't leave you much room for the nut there. All right, this one could go back in.
Okay, we've got the rebuilt control arms back on the car. That means the next major step is to set the new coil springs in place and then tie it all together with the spindles. But before we go any further, we just noticed that now might be the optimum time to replace the brake lines.
Since our junction block is right here and I now have the upper control arm out of the way, it gives us good access.
Yeah, we have to run the one over to the other side too, and with the radiator out, looks like now is the ideal time to run those lines. So we're gonna get into that right now.
Yep. Hold it, pull it out. Yep.
Yeah, they got some stink to them, that's for sure.
Reminded me of butt cheeks stay together.
Those are double nutted. All four of those are cotter pinned. Idler arm is cotter pinned. We just gotta do a rough alignment on it. .20, 1.22. So we need to order something.
Right.
And then we gotta drill them.
Are you gonna call over? Or?
Yeah. Hey, Thomas Jr., how are you?
What's up?
Are you ready for this one? 1972 Chevrolet Corvette. Front rotors.
I mean, I feel like I've done worse for you. Yeah, I can have for around 3 today.
Oh, excellent.
Okay, when we went to put the fresh wheel bearings in the front hubs, we discovered that those rotors were not new. I think I might have mentioned earlier that the car had 4 new rotors. Turns out it only had new rotors in the back. So those rotors were GM rotors that had never been disconnected from the hubs, so Junior had to drill out the old rivets, knock those out so we could get the hubs free. We got fresh rotors. He's packing the new bearings right now. I'm gonna put that all together and get it on the car. All right, front suspension, that's a wrap, I think, right?
It's done. It's in.
All right, so you guys saw us rebuild the control arms, they're back on, and you just wrapped up all the steering linkage.
Yep, all new tie rod ends. They're all in, tight. Everything's ready for an alignment.
Okay, so when we put the car down on the ground, there's still some things we'll have to tighten up, right?
Yes, we have to tighten up the bushings because you don't want to tighten them when the suspension's fully sagged, because then you'll put a lot of torsion on the rubber, so we need to drop that down, tighten up all the rubber bushings. We'll do a rough kind of toe in so we can at least get it to the alignment shop, and that'll be that.
Okay, good deal. The rear is done now too?
Yep.
So now it's time to go under the hood. We're gonna install the new carburetor and distributor we talked about earlier and take care of some other stuff and try to get this thing to run right.
It's gonna ride right, now it needs to run right.
All right, let's get into that in the next episode.
Hey, Junior, now what are you doing over there?
Questioning my life choices. That's what I'm doing right now.